If you have never heard of Zeus Rules or want to know why it is important in the Odyssey, then you'll want to watch this video till the end. Today, we will dive into the Odyssey and anything you need to know about Zeus Rules before watching the movie. "3,000 years ago, the most powerful civilizations on Earth vanished in less than 50 years. No nuclear bombs, no climate catastrophe. They shattered from within." When Christopher Nolan took on The Odyssey, the world expected a sweeping fantasy epic. What they got instead was a terrifying psychological mirror, a cinematic clock ticking down to our own destruction. At the center of Nolan's vision lies a single, forgotten ancient law known as the Zeus Rules. It wasn't a law about territory or religion, it was an absolute rule governing the fragile line of human empathy. And when that law broke, society didn't just stumble, it bled to death. Nolan's Odyssey isn't a simple retelling of an ancient legend. It is a desperate, apocalyptic warning to the modern world. Because right now, we are breaking the exact same rule. When you think of Nolan's movies, you'd probably think of a story about someone trying to go home, or someone trying to go home, or someone trying to go home. But this time he asked one more important question. Is there a home to go back to? To survive the ancient world, humanity had to invent a safeguard against its own darkest instincts. They called it Xenia, or the Zeus Rules. In a lawless era without police, borders, or passports, stepping outside your city wall was a death sentence. The Zeus Rules were the only thing preventing total, perpetual warfare. It was a sacred, double-edged mandate enforced by the king of gods himself. As the host, you must offer safety, shelter, and basic respect to a total stranger before asking a single question, because that stranger could be a god in disguise. As the guest, you must never exploit the host's trust, ruin their home, or weaponize their vulnerability. This wasn't mere courtesy. It was the foundational code of human connection. It was the invisible thread holding trade, diplomacy, and civilization together. If you broke it, you didn't just insult a stranger. You tore down the fabric of society. In the movie, when Odysseus steps off his ship, he isn't fighting mythical monsters for glory. He is wandering through a living nightmare where human connection has completely collapsed. Every island he visits is a portrait of societal rot. The Cyclops Polyphemus doesn't see guests, he sees livestock. He laughs at the sacred code, traps Odysseus's men, and devours them in cold blood. He is the predatory host. Back in Ithaca, the suitors take over Odysseus's home. They feast on his wealth, terrorize his family, and destroy the palace from the inside out. They are the parasitic guests. Notice what's happening. Hostility on one end, parasitic greed on the other. Nolan strips away the high fantasy romanticism and reveals the brutal truth. Odysseus is a broken, PTSD-ridden veteran navigating a world where the basic rules of mutual respect have been systematically dismantled. Nolan roots this fantasy in a chilling historical reality, the Bronze Age collapse. Around 1200 BCE, advanced empires across the Mediterranean crumbled simultaneously. Historians point to mysterious naval invaders known as the Sea Peoples, but Nolan's film highlights the deeper truth. The Sea Peoples were the symptom, not the cause. When people stop viewing strangers with baseline empathy, trust evaporates. When trust dies, paranoia takes over. And when paranoia rules, every stranger is an enemy that must be destroyed before they destroy you. Civilization didn't fall because of sword fights or natural disasters. It collapsed because the fundamental trust between human beings died. This is where Nolan's warning turns directly on us. Nolan doesn't frame the Odyssey as a period piece about 3,000-year-old Greeks. He uses the movie as a mirror, showing us that our modern world is breaking the exact same code that destroyed the ancient Mediterranean. The total collapse of human connection. The suitors occupying Ithaca aren't presented as individual men. Nolan directs them as an unthinking, ravenous hive mind. They devour resources they didn't earn, destroy the palace, and mock Penelope, not out of hunger, but for entertainment. They are the cinematic double of modern social media, an anonymous, performative mob that weaponizes outrage, tramples basic boundaries, and feeds off destruction for clout. When Odysseus confronts the suitors, Nolan doesn't play it as a heroic action scene. It is framed as a horrific, desperate tragedy. The massacre isn't a victory, it's the bitter, bloody price paid when a society ignores the rules for so long that violence becomes the only language left. In the movie, figures like Polyphemus and the suitors boast about ignoring the Zeus rules. They treat basic decency as weakness and lawlessness as strength. Just like today, where we watch public figures and online culture glorify the deliberate destruction of social norms, legal boundaries, and basic human empathy, treating cruelty as a badge of honor. The Zeus rules were an ancient warning system built into myth. The moment you treat a stranger as subhuman, your society is already dead. When Odysseus desperately fights to return home, he isn't just trying to reach a geographical location. And when he made it back to Ithaca, traumatized and hollow, Nolan leaves us with a terrifying question. After the erosion of every moral line, was there actually a home left to save? If we continue to trample the unwritten rules of human connection, if we replace mutual trust with constant hostility, then no amount of technology or power will save us. There won't be a home left to return to. Is modern society already breaking the Zeus rules beyond repair? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this deep dive, hit a like, subscribe, and watch more videos here. I'll see you next time.